for today's cup of coffee, I found a wonderful website, and I don't know why I didn't think about this before. Ripley's.com. We love Ripley's.
I love Ripley's so much, especially their Shrunken Head exhibit.
Oh, yeah. And they had a wonderful Ripley's museum down in Gatlinburg, Tennessee at one point. And it caught fire years ago and just destroyed some of, I think, most things. And it was heartbreaking because what was destroyed was, you couldn't replace that.
Yeah.
They had some of the Victorian artwork where they would take people's hair and braid it and then put it into different designs and behind glass. And
did they figure out how it caught on fire?
I don't know. I never looked into it that closely, but it was just really tragic because I had visited every time we went to Gatlinburg, which, quite a few times as I was growing up. I would go there. Mm-hmm. My father would gripe, "You've already seen it." I want to see it again.
Who doesn't like?
It was tradition.
Yeah, it's tradition to go. Like if the place has a Ripley's, you automatically go there.
Yeah.
Let's go to Ripley's.
And the one in Myrtle Beach was not.
I always liked that one too.
It just wasn't much of anything. But the one in Gatlinburg, I still lament because it was phenomenal. It was just incredible.
Did we ever see it after the fire? I think after it was rebuilt and such?
I think we did, and it was just made me want to cry. But anyhow, this website is great, and the link will be in the description box. And for today, we've got one by Chris Littlechild. What a cool name to have. Littlechild.
Littlechild.
Yeah. It's called Bizarre Bits About BRAINIAC Albert Einstein.
Yeah.
I love Albert Einstein. I mean, he just, I guess I should have printed one of the iconic photos for his hair, just wild hair, and where he was sticking his tongue out. Mm-hmm. That's one of my favorites. I actually need to get a print of that and have here in the house.
Now, I always thought that that was photoshopped.
No, he actually did do that.
Okay.
So
cool.
I don't think he was as big a stick in the mud as people thought he was, because a lot of times we'll get an idea about who someone is, and we don't know them, so we don't know how they actually are. It becomes just this myth in our head about people. But this article is really cool. It says, Albert Einstein was born in Ulm in the German Empire's kingdom of, I'm going to butcher this, it's Württemberg is what it looks like. It's probably Württemberg, because of the W's and the V's and stuff like that.
Württemberg.
But he was born in March of 1879. He may have been a Pisces.
Oh, he was a Pisces.
Was he a Pisces?
Yeah, he was a Pisces.
Oh, God love him. It says, from humble beginnings and a struggle to find work, he began documenting others' brilliance at the Swiss Patent Office. And from there, he would go on to become one of the most famous scientists and acclaimed geniuses in human history. Now, everyone's heard of the theory of relativity and E equals MC square quotation, or equation better. But few know some of the more obscure and fascinating details about his life. So here are just a few bizarre yet totally true facts about him. 1, Einstein loved to sail despite being awful at it. It says that it was one of his favorite pastimes, and that he remained enthusiastic about the pursuit of sailing throughout his life, but he never really developed a proficiency for it. He named his boat, I think this is right, Kenneth, which means worthless.
When you said sail, I meant I thought sell. Like selling stuff.
No, just sailing as far as ships and boats. And the boat is said to have lived up to its name. Einstein couldn't swim and often had to be rescued from his floundering boat in the waters off of Long Island.
Oh, no.
And I don't know if they had life vest at that point. So I don't know exactly when.
That's
life
when you dead
vest
men float on your back. Seriously, you just float.
I can't float. I cannot float. I've tried many, many times over my life. I can't float.
Us chubby people, we got buoyancy.
I've got plenty of buoyancy. I just can't float.
That's because you got to relax your body totally.
Can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it. Can't do it. Next, we have, contrary to popular belief, Einstein never failed math. Because that's one that's been used to encourage children who were struggling with math.
No, he was brilliant. Of course he never failed math.
But that's...
Who said that he failed math?
That's been a rumor for many years, to sit there and go, Einstein failed math.
I have
you can do
never
this.
heard that.
It says... isn't true at all. On the contrary, he surprised teachers and fellow students with his ability to solve complex mathematic problems and grapple with concepts that his peers couldn't. Well, of course they couldn't. They weren't Einstein.
Right.
It says, as gifted a pupil as he was, that he grew tired of his teacher's rigidity and he just didn't apply himself. That's true of a lot of children. And says later that he would respond angrily about the false stories that he had failed math as a child, and he quoted, "Before I was 15, I had mastered differential and integral calculus," end quote. I don't mind. I can understand why he'd be a little bit pissy about that.
Yeah.
So, next one, the FBI watched him so closely that the report was over 1,400 pages.
Why the fuck were they watching
Oh,
him?
we're going to find out. J. Edgar Hoover's FBI was incredibly wary of him. In his personal life, Einstein's support for social causes led to the Bureau keeping tabs on him starting in December of 1932. Believed to be a communist or a radical, as well as dedicated to speaking out against social injustice, he was deemed dangerous by the FBI.
Bullshit.
He wasn't.
He was not dangerous whatsoever.
Well, there's a lot of people that speak out about social injustice that are deemed dangerous these days.
A lot more than we know of.
Absolutely. And I missed a page. Einstein had a mysterious daughter whose fate remains unknown. See, I didn't know he had kids.
I didn't know that he had kids either.
And so his first daughter to
How do we know this is true, though?
Now, this is Ripley's. They actually do research stuff. They didn't get their shit off Reddit.
Dear God.
You have to admit, the things that come off Reddit, they're amusing.
Yeah.
They can be amusing. Anyhow, his first daughter, to whom Malevia Marek gave birth prior to the pair's marriage, seems to have been forgotten by history. And her name is something else I'm going to butcher, which is Lieserl. It's Lieserl.
What was that?
That's the kid's name, because I don't speak German. Yeah. And she was born in January the 1902 in Serbia. And nothing is really known of this girl. She's believed to have died of scarlet fever before her second birthday. That's why we don't know anything about her. And that this little detail, that's about the only thing that's known. And that was gleaned by Einstein's letters, which were discovered in the 1980s. What a treasure that was, to have found letters that he had written.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah. He was also a skilled violin and piano player. It says he may not have been good at sailing, but he excelled at playing music. Before his 6th birthday, he was engaged in violin lessons. It says, sadly, he didn't show the dedication and application that, you need to learn how to play good.
Mm-hmm.
And violin is something that is painful when somebody is learning. It truly is. It says that...
Just wait till I get the violin, Mama.
That's okay. You have such, an aptitude for music. I don't think you'll be doing that. It says that he was inspired by the work of Mozart while he was in his teens. And after that, he continued to find time to play when he could, even after becoming a world-renowned scientist. So that was a healthy balance because it gave the thinking part of his brain a break.
Mm-hmm.
His brain is on display at the Mutter Museum in Philadelphia.
His brain?
Yes.
Oh, you know they have already took samples of that brain, though, and they have that on cryo freeze.
Probably.
They have that on.
Yes.
They have that in a reservoir somewhere, ready to use it.
And it says, the reason that they did this, they wanted to know if the brain of a genius differed from other people's brains. And
it has more creases, that's it. It's got more ass cracks.
So Einstein's brain attracted a huge amount of attention after his death. And the great scientist's brain was stolen by one Thomas Harvey, who kept it in a laboratory in Philadelphia for a time. And then after this, it found a home in Princeton Hospital, and some inclusive tests were performed on it, and it's still in Philadelphia. So at least they didn't destroy the whole thing.
I mean, Philly is not that far from us. We could go.
That would be great.
That could be a day trip and see it.
Now, it's more than a day trip for us, but that would be great to say, I have seen Einstein's brain.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really cool. He was also offered the position of president of Israel, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah.
He was Jewish.
I didn't know that.
Yes. And that in 1952, he was formally asked to be the second president of Israel. Upon the death of Chaim Weizmann, the first person to hold the position, the offer was extended despite the fact that Einstein was not a citizen of the country. He solemnly refused, stating that he was flattered but wasn't qualified to hold the position and to deal with people in an official capacity.
That is so amazing that he was humble enough to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, next one. He developed an idea for an electricity-free refrigerator. How cool would that be? Yeah.
Why couldn't it have been, produced in reality? Oh, wait, that would have made the electric companies lose money.
Absolutely.
Fuck y'all for that.
Well, go
electricity should be free. Healthcare should be free. Period.
That was what Nikola Tesla, he wanted everybody to be able to have electricity for free.
His idea was stolen.
Sure it was. Edison. Mm-hmm. Edison was an asshole. We need to make a cup of coffee that says Edison was an asshole, because he truly was.
They need to start teaching actual history, the real truth of the history.
I don't think anybody knows.
No, but hardly anyone knows unless they actually dig into it.
Right. And not many people are willing to do the work to find the truth on that. It says that Einstein worked on his design with protege Leo, something else I'm going to butcher, Szilard. It's Szilard. There's probably somebody out there that speaks German, and they're just face palming the whole way through this.
Listen, I tried to teach myself briefly German while I was in for the Sound of Music, because I had to play German twice. All of it sounds disgusting and violent.
Well,
a majority of it.
We listen to Rammstein often, and we enjoy Rammstein greatly.
It sounds like they're trying to hack up a loogie while yelling at someone.
No,
screaming at someone.
No, it just sounds like they're angry. Yes, that's it. Of course, it's Rammstein. They probably are. Anyhow, the reason he developed the refrigerator was he heard the tragic tale of a family that was killed when their broken refrigerator emitted dangerous gases. And so Einstein's absorption refrigerator used no freons, was healthier for the environment than contemporary models, and even had the potential to run by solar power. How cool is that? Now, you talk about somebody that was ahead of his time.
Mm-hmm.
I loved this one. He had a strong aversion to socks and refused to wear them.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either. Although I do have socks on right now. I'm a flip-flop person.
I have socks on too because he will rub blisters on my feet.
Yeah. And it says that as a child, Einstein suffered the entirely relatable discomfort of his socks developing holes and his toes poking through them. I'm like that. I when somebody has a hole in their sock, because I know the discomfort, I'm like, no, throw those damn things away. Go get you another pair of socks. And considering it was far easier to simply not wear them, he continued to do so for the rest of his life. And it says he's seen without socks in many photographs, and he even refused to wear a pair of socks when he met President Franklin Delano Roosevelt at the White House. I always had problems with Roosevelt too. Well, what did it matter? What were they going to do? Get down and inspect his ankles?
Yeah.
Why?
Are they going to lift up his pant leg and see if he has socks under his shoes or not?
Well, I guess when he sat down, because your pants legs do come up a little bit.
That's why you get pants that are a little longer than what you need. That's what I do.
Next oddity. Einstein's IQ remains
Nobody can see what
mystery.
Socks I have.
What?
Nobody can see what socks I have. They can't tell if they're mismatched. They're mismatched right now.
That's in vogue.
No, it's not.
The mismatched socks has been a thing for a while.
It's not in vogue right now. No. No.
Anyhow, his IQ remains a mystery. And it's been a great debate what his IQ was.
What does it matter? He was intelligent. That's all you need to know.
Right. Though many sources claim to offer a definitive number, 160 is a popular one. The truth is that the man himself never took any kind of test to determine his IQ.
Good.
And it says even if he had, there's no saying whether his IQ would have been extraordinary. Such tests offer a general idea of one concept of intelligence. And though he was a titan of the physics world, there's no reason why he would have had greatly excelled otherwise. Mm-hmm. IQ tests, any of these tests, what they test for is somebody's memory. That's it. And that's just like as far as school and stuff like that, you can be brilliant, but if you can't remember it or remember it in the moment, yeah, and test anxiety, you will not remember shit.
No.
Yeah. Next one. He won his Nobel Prize in physics a century ago, which would have been in 2021, because it's when this was written. And though the theory of relativity is Einstein's best-known achievement in the field of physics, it's a curious fact that he didn't win his Nobel Prize for it. It said instead he won the Nobel Prize in physics in 1921 for his services to theoretical physics, and especially for his discovery of the law of photoelectric effect.
It's because he was against the government, basically.
Probably. The lesser-known discovery of Einstein's governs the way that electric sparks are given off by metal electrodes when exposed to light waves of a certain frequency. And then he was awarded the prize the following year. And I need to, it's like, that's for people who's got the big brains, not myself.
Smooth brain gang, I'm right here.
And this, the last one, and this, just, I respected this man anyhow, but this one, just massive respect. He refused the surgery that could have saved his life. And it says, when he knew his end was coming, he was satisfied with everything that he had achieved. On April the 18th, 1955, at the age of 76, Einstein found himself in a hospital in Princeton, New Jersey, with a ruptured blood vessel. His life could perhaps have been saved, but he refused any treatment or procedure. He stoically declared, quote, "It is tasteless to prolong life artificially. Mm-hmm. I have done my share. It is time to go. I will do it elegantly," end quote. And so soon after he said that, he did pass.
I agree with that.
What a cool dude. Mm-hmm. And people are like, what does that have to do with paranormal, supernatural, whatever?
He was a genius. What more do you want?
I think he definitely
was amazing.
Supernatural.
Yeah. Yeah.
And more than likely from the things...
Pisces, we are the superior. Everybody shits on us.
from some of the things that were discussed here, he very well could have had Asperger's.
Oh, yeah, more than likely.
That is a superpower.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is. And, we've got a lot of people that, they may feel bad about themselves because they're on the spectrum or whatever. Why? Why would you do that? That is not a disability. That is an advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like those of us with the ADHD. I did take the Strattera today, and other than having dry mouth, I'm much more able to focus.
I wasn't able to tell, honestly, but,
Yes, but even with the ADHD, we can multitask like nobody's business. So it can be a superpower also. People that don't have either, they all have special talents and abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just whether or not accessing it is possible.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with low self-esteem.
I think the government honestly does not want another Einstein, so they do everything in their power to prevent that.
Oh, sure,
as far as like media manipulation.
Not just that. There's been people
that was an example.
Oh, okay. Well, I understand, but there's been people that have conspiracy theoried for a long time as far as the chemicals that's in our food, in our water, in our air. That it's a dumb population is easy to control and manipulate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And as far as even kid shots and stuff like that, if I had known then what I know now, I would have never allowed them to stack Ural's vaccines. But that's just my personal research, my personal opinion on it.
Yeah, like the vaccines are needed. It's just like, don't put them on top of each other. Like, spread them out. Well,
and again, this is just my personal opinion, to wait until after a child is 2 so that they don't, that pure immune system, I mean, it has there's a way that it develops naturally, and that it does include nursing from not from a can, that you've got women's that they don't want to nurse the babies, which is what those things are designed to do, but they're like, I don't want to do whatever. No.
Yeah.
Be like some of these little tribal women's that are flat and proud of it because they used the boobies for what they were supposed to be used for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Plus the bonding that does with children and stuff. So.
I wasn't able to do it. I was like,
well, no, you
Snuffy
did.
boy.
Yeah, he had adenoids from hell. But now you, as far as like 6 weeks and stuff like that, it was a struggle, but you did nurse.
No, that was a struggle.
Yeah, when I was at the radio station, it's like when you was in there squalling because you was hungry, I just closed the doors up. Everybody knew what was going on, and I could be on the air with kid.
That sounds like a cat.
Yeah. It's like, you got a cat in there. That's my kid.
I'm cat people. Not a fish. I'm a cat person.
We've always had that. So, anyhow, Einstein, he was definitely not he was not your average run-of-the-mill person.
Nope.
He was super.
He was a superhero.
I'm not saying he was right about everything, and that there are people that have questioned some of, some of the physics, some of the work that he did. That's science. That's true science. It's okay to question stuff.
Exactly. Like, seriously, that's all about science. You ask questions, you test it, and you get an answer at the end after you test it.
Right.
You're like, what does this do? Okay, I'm going to try it. Oh, it produces this, but does it do it if I do it this way?
Right.
No, it does not do that, but does it do it if I do it this way?
Right.
Yes, I get the same result.
But it's also a matter of, can somebody else replicate and if you can't replicate the experiment, it's not a fact.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know, there's people, there
certain
used
things
to
going
be,
on right now that would
there used to be a way that these things were taught. Apparently that's like everything else that has gone by the way.
Because they don't want it to be taught correctly.
That's true.
They don't want people to be smart.
Be smart in spite of them. The best revenge is success.
I agree, but like, no, most people aren't going to do that. They're just going to go with the flow most of the time.
Go against the flow. Go against the grain. Yes.
I'm a Pisces with a
Be
Libra
an
moon.
individual. Be an individual. Find out who God designed you to be. Yeah.
Yes.
Anything to add?
He's smart. I wanted to go see his brain.
We might can do that.
And where is it displayed again? Is it like
Philadelphia.
Is it in a hospital or a museum?
It's a museum.
Okay.
The Mutter.
The Mutter.
Mutter. Mutter.
The Mutter.
Yeah.
The Mud Museum. The Muddy Muffler Museum.
So,
That is in Wisconsin.
probably, or Detroit.
Yeah.
That's. I've got to do my.
You got to do your thing. I'm waiting for you.
All right. If you've got experiences, if you've had experiences with paranormal, supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, Einstein's brain, if you've got local, regional, family myths, legends,
Y'all want a cat?
no, send us an email at cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. The email address is always in the description box. There's some actually interesting things if you go through the description box. Yeah. Know that you're loved, know that you're appreciated, and that you have value. Yeah.
And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that little notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all, and have a good. We'll catch you on the next one.
You have a beautiful, blessed day. Bye.
Brains, that's all.